What's up guys, what's up cycling fanatics? Back with another Q&A video. This is the Q&A of August and this time it's from Seoul, South Korea. Okay, so today I'm in Seoul. I'm on a trip, a working trip again. We left yesterday, very late at night, 9.5 hour flight to Seoul, arriving here the next day in the afternoon. For me it was 10 o'clock the next morning when we arrived in the hotel. So pretty heavy trip. I went to bed, took a nap. I slept for a solid 4.5 hours and I woke up because your body is just bing up. And now it's in the middle of the night here, but for me it's 7 o'clock in the afternoon. So, or the night. It's a bit weird. Like I said, it's in the middle of the night. I'm gonna be making this video and then I plan to go riding a bike in the morning. But now first questions. I'm gonna go to my Q&A video of last month and get up some questions and I'm gonna answer these. Jonathan Ben, would you ever considering joining a pro team? Canyon would be a good one. Show Nardo Quintana how it's done, lol. Well, if it goes up any much deeper than 1%, Quintana is gonna drop me in a second. So I don't think that's a good idea, but yes, I would consider joining a pro team, but it would have to be some way managed with my job at the same time. Purple Ice says, hey Jasper, I'm 13 years old. My height is 171 centimeters and I weigh 40 kilos. What kind of training should I do? First of all, you're very young. You're tall and you're pretty light. So I think you should eat a lot. Eat a lot more and just ride your bike a lot. You can start doing some strength training, but don't go too hard and make sure somebody's helping you, guiding you the right way. But it seems like you need to pack on some weight, dude. So to go faster, you need muscles. So get your muscles by doing some strength training. This can be done on the bike or in the gym. Lorenz Brandel, can you show what's in your pilot bag? There's not much in there. I've got an iPad that we use for work, to use all the maps and the flight plan and everything. And then what's in there? My wallet, keys, phone, earplugs for the noise, a pen, very important, a bottle of water, and then sometimes my laptop and some cameras sometimes. Some crazy Russian name I cannot pronounce because I don't know how to, wow. Russian. Lorenz Brandel says, can you make a specific video about warming up in the days before a race, not tapering? A warming up needs to be specific for the type of event you're doing. If it's a very long ride, which is not going to be very intense, maybe you don't need to do a warm-up. Maybe you can just start into the ride and that's fine. The shorter the ride or the race gets and the more intense the training or race gets, the longer your warm-up needs to be and also the more intense your warm-up needs to be. Somewhere in your warm-up, try to get a similar intensity as you're expecting to have in the race. So a short criterion, your warm-up can be 20 or 30 minutes. And an easy training with some light intervals, your warm-up might be only 10 minutes. So it's very different. The last couple days before a race, it's important that you don't overdo it. Training on that moment is not going to affect your fitness and it's not going to make you a faster rider. Training needs to be done well before any race. Keep your training short and keep it focused on what you're doing. Try to time it, like do another intense training maybe 2 days before the race, not the day before the race, because you'll be too fatigued on the race day itself. Camille Curillo wants to know when I'm gonna post the how to make a training plan video. I'm gonna work on those things in the winter because right now I'm very busy doing all these videos about racing. It takes a lot of time, so when it's winter I don't race and I'll have more time for other videos. If I can explain the difference between strength training and power training in terms of repetitions, etc. When it comes to strength training, you're recruiting muscle fibers, so you need to activate as much muscle fibers you can, and you're training your neuromuscular system, you need to do very heavy weights and low repetitions with a lot of rest. Training on power, you're trying to move a certain weight as fast as you can, and you're probably doing more repetitions, still a lot of rest, but the movement will be very fast. Strength training, less than 6 reps. Power training, anywhere between 6 to 12 reps. So there is a big difference. I'm gonna make a power video in the winter. If you want to know more about strength training, you can check my video that I have on strength training in the gym. I explain to you how I do it and why I do it, and I also talk about power in that video. Vic Keulemans wants to know where did I do my flight training. I did it in the north of the Netherlands. There's a little airport, Groningen Airport, and then part of it was in Phoenix, Arizona in USA, where we did the first couple months of flight training on a small single piston aircraft. Turney UK wants to know if I have any bad crashes in my BMX racing, and if I think BMX is more dangerous than road racing. Well, I've had a couple bad crashes. I've broken my back in 3 places, and I've torn AC joints, ligaments, whatever, knee surgery. I've had a lot of stuff. Yes, BMX racing is far, far more dangerous than road cycling. Oh yeah, everything healed up pretty well. Sid Brown wants to know, will you do a fan meetup? Sure, Sid. Shoot me a message. Let me know where you want to meet, and I'll try to get something arranged. Of course, it would be very cool to meet some of you guys, so just shoot me a message, man. Goat Noise. Are you one of the few people who can navigate around Schiphol? Schiphol is the airport in Amsterdam. I have trouble with navigating around Schiphol. I always walk, I just walk the same direction as my colleagues. I have no idea. I just follow the signs and that's it. Jimmy Crackedcorn 226 wants to know if I have a system or a plan to help reduce upper body mass. Please tell me how to do it. I don't know. I'm trying to reduce weight, but it's very hard. I've been training upper body strength for such a long time that it's not really going away really fast. So I don't have a system. Diogo Santos, will you make any plans to come to Portugal? I don't have any plans to come to Portugal, but what's not there can still come. I don't know. I've been there once. It's a very nice country, so if you have a good suggestion, let me know. Kiri John, on my last ride I had a heart rate of 217. Am I going to die? I am 17 years old. If this heart rate would have killed you, you probably would have been dead by now. So don't worry. It seems like you can handle a very high heart rate, so everybody's different. Paul Antoine Hagen, I'm 15 and it's my first year racing. When is the best training and what would improve my performance? And what cycling shoes do you wear? Well, to answer the last question, like I said, I'm gonna ride my bike later today, hopefully. So I have my shoes with me. These are the shoes I'm riding at the moment for training rides. This is the Shimano RP9. And then I have another pair of shoes that I use for races, just because on training rides you tend to walk more, you know, coffee rides and whatever, and the cleats wear out very quick, and I like to have very fresh cleats on my races. So I have 2 pair of shoes. The other shoes are more for racing, these are more for touring. Bucka Makes Videos says, I've been riding my Cannondale K10 for 3 years now, and I'm getting more into cycling each year. Should I opt for a new carbon bike or upgrade on the one I have? Will the benefits of a carbon bike be worth the investment? It depends. Carbon is very good for vibrations. It's very stiff. It's gonna stay stiff over multiple years. any other material will lose stiffness. And if you have a very well built aluminum frame or titanium frame, it can be better than some carbon bikes. So carbon is not always the best choice, but I think carbon is the best technique, and they have very nice bikes. So it all depends on your budget as well. Do you have worn out gears or not? Are you very happy with your Cannondale aluminum bike? Keep riding it and buy some new parts. So it's a hard decision. I need more information. Andreas Wank, he says, Jasper, I saw earlier videos that you eat during longer rides. It's all manufactured sport foods and cookies. Have you ever thought about preparing your own food like rice cakes and so on? Well, it's not really sports food I use. I do eat sport. Okay, for example, this is what I have with me on this trip because I'm gonna ride my bike. The stuff you're referring to as maybe cookies are these things, snelle jelles. This is more like just a snack bar in the Netherlands. This is not sports food. This is seen as regular food for most people. And then I've got some like energy gels. Brand is not important, which is sport food. I eat that. And then there's these bars that I eat, which is sports food, but I don't eat these a lot on like normal training rides, more like intense rides or long rides, or when I need to practice eating this stuff in races. And then I have recovery drinks that I use after the race, or training. So I actually eat a lot of normal food. I also eat a lot of normal buns like you've seen in my videos, but I've never made my own sport food to take with me. So no, maybe I'm gonna do it. Rice cakes sounds nice. Hugo Gali. What's the model of your Garmin? It's the Garmin 820. I don't like it. Daniel Lopez, have you ever considered come to South America? Colombia specifically? No, I have not, because I don't fly there. I would love to go to South America on a holiday, of course, to ride my bike, but for work I don't go there because the 747, the plane I'm on, doesn't go to South America. Spencer Tanner, San Diego based. What's up, San Diego? What chainring and cassette gearing do you consider best for crit racing and overall training? Should you change between racing and training? For me, because I do a lot of flat crits, right now I'm using front chain rings is 3953 and the back I prefer the 1123. So the steps are very small in between the chain rings. You can shift very precise in your gearing. Best for training, I think, is the mid-size compact. That's a 3652 in the front, because it's suitable for high-speed riding on flat terrain, or you can take it up to the mountains, and with a 1128 cassette in the back you can actually go up pretty steep. And so that makes a very nice intermediate crankset to go both ways. My bike in the USA, the Fuji, has a compact, so that's a 3450, which is good for riding in the mountains because the Malibu mountains are very nice to ride, but for the crit races it's not really suitable. But that's how I bought the bike, and I took another crankset, but it didn't fit, so I need to put in new press fit bearings, which is something I haven't done. So I prefer to race crits on the bigger chain rings in the front, and then going into the mountains I would say go with 1128 and a mid-size compact. And I do switch out for races only when, for example, the race in Verkuijl, which had the climbs, I put a 1128 cassette in the back. But normally in the Netherlands, because everything is pretty much flat, I always ride the 1123 cassette, because I just like the shifting in the gears. Pilo Rato, what do you think of electronic derailleurs? Why didn't you choose for one of those? Well, they're very expensive, and I think my bike was already expensive enough. So I made the choice not to spend another 1500 euros on electronic derailleurs. I have ridden an Di2 only once, and I think it's very nice. It shifts nice, smooth, fast. It takes a while to get used to it, but it's really cool. Richard Chavez, he says, Jasper, you're a beast of a road racer, but you're missing out a lot of better placing finishes in criterions because of the breakaways. Instead of waiting on a breakaway to happen, have you thought about being the one who initiates the break? What will it take to accomplish a strategy like this, and do you have the resources? That's what I did in my last race in Zeist. I was attacking the whole race, and what happens is I attack and nobody comes with me, only 1 or 2 riders, and I don't know why. Maybe they don't know me yet, or they think this guy is sprinting so fast I'm not gonna ride away with him because he's gonna win anyway. I don't know, but I see other guys attack and the whole peloton flies after them like crazy, like bees on a pot of honey. But when I attack, nothing seems to happen. So I'm not sure why that is. So, but I'm gonna try more. Kark Kier, do you think doping is a big issue in the amateur racing community, US and or Europe? And have you ever experienced it yourself? That somebody made a big jump in performance that's hard to explain by just better training. I have seen riders around me that made big jumps in performance and in other stuff, but I've never had any suspects of doping of any riders that I know of. See them use anything or think they would use anything, but I'm not saying there is not any use. I think in the US there was recently a guy caught on doping that was racing in masters category. So yes, there is people using this stuff. Alright, so I've got so many questions. I'm gonna make a part 2 of this video. So this is it for this one. And then stay tuned for part 2, where I will answer the rest of all the questions of this month. See ya!